What is good, everybody? Hope you're all doing well out there. Had a good weekend, all that good stuff. Monday morning, it's still raining. It's still raining here. We've been in the midst of what they call it, an atmospheric river storm the past few days. Absolutely nothing compared to what the folks in the Caribbean are going through right now. My goodness. Everybody stay safe out there. World is going nuts. Today we are going to be diving into Serum 2 and just making a bunch of sounds. This is going to be all for a new sound pack. It's going to be a pretty big one. So there will be a lot of sounds and a lot of different types of sounds. So we will revisit this for probably a few weeks in the midstream or in the midweek streams or top of the week streams. We also have some tools to take a look at on Wednesday. So I think we'll just mostly stay dedicated to sound design today, and then we'll take a look at the tools on Wednesday. One of which I can't name by name. The other one will be the new Pocket Scion, which we will literally connect to plants and play with live, which will be great. Danny, welcome in. Happy Monday to you. How are you? Hey, and we're going to have you on the show soon. Again, which will be great. You've always got fun stuff cooking. As always, you can feel free to spam some links if you want. Okay, so in an effort to keep all of this stuff moving forward and also to keep an air of mystery about what the product might be, where you might actually end up seeing it, all that kind of stuff, I think what we'll do as we're building these is juggle them a bit. If you guys remember the old game we used to play, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, probably, something like that now. God dang, time flies. We used to do this hot potato synth patch thing, and I had a few different variations on it. For those of you who've been around for a long time in the community, you'll probably remember this. But I would start a patch, or someone else would start a patch, and we'd pass it off, and it would be quick, right? We would have like a certain amount of time with it, make a certain amount of changes, and then pass them off. So in an effort to keep things exciting and moving things forward, I think what I might do is play a little game of hot potato with myself as I work on these. The next stream is not Feedback Friday; it's actually Wednesday. Change that. All right. So I think that's what we'll do. So if I am making good headway and you're like, oh, this sound is great, and then I switch it like just suddenly, that's why. But don't fear. Don't fear. We'll just jump into another sound that's just really great. You know what I mean? It's a good way to create. Ooh, what's Danny saying? Oh, yeah. Ooh, Danny, yeah. Man, you know, it's nice to hear your stuff getting used, isn't it? Absolutely. All right, I think I just want to kind of jump in. If you weren't here on Friday, and you're noticing that you have a subscription to the stream somehow, there were some gift subs given out on Friday, so be sure to grab the free sound pack before I swap it out later today. It's up on the Discord. All right, let's go ahead and stop this. Hey, Saffron! Are you back in the United States? Happy Monday to you. How was your trip? How is your trip? Are you still on it? What's going on? Paul, welcome in. Paul says, greetings from confused Maryland. Man, aren't we all a little confused these days right now? Tell you what. I'm constantly being told that, like, my city is on fire and under siege and stuff, but, like, I don't know. Don't see any of it. Oh, Liv is here, saying, I'm not confused, just depressed. I'm sorry you're feeling down, hon. I will try to make the air wiggle in just such a way as to put a small smile on your face at some point in the stream today. Paul, 3 minutes ago, darkness. Now sun. Now that is like springtime in Oregon, right there. Yeah. Although there's been a lot of that the last couple of days. It was like almost nighttime yesterday in the middle of the day. It was just so dark. So dark. All right, I'm going to load up an instance of Serum here. Oh, hey now. I have another update. All right, so, yo, WNB, how you doing? How you doing? Happy Monday to you. It's so much fun to know that you're going to be able to make a whole bunch of stuff, right? When you're just sitting down to a fresh new project, brand new pack. Saf is saying, hey, how are you doing? I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right, all things considered. W&B is feasting on meatballs. Ooh, nice. Yeah. I'm going to remember to turn the volume up here. For those of you just joining the stream, I said it a minute ago, but I'll say it again. If you look down and notice that you have a sub to the stream and you don't remember subbing, it's probably because there was a bunch of gift subs given out on Friday. So be sure you grab your free sound pack from the Discord before it disappears today, because I'll be putting up a new free sound pack. Twofer. Get them both. Okay, so what the heck should we make, huh? Ooh, WB says, a friend gave me a ridiculously heavy bag of food. Support your artists. Support your local artists. Give them heavy bags of food. I like that. Okay, first let's make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see a little bit more clearly. Oh, that's really really big on my screen. That's like obscenely huge here, but that's okay. That's okay. W&B is asking, what is the sound pack themed? Okay, so this will be a kind of a general expansion pack, or like an essentials kind of collection. So we will need to divvy this up by type, which will somewhat dictate what will end up being in the pack. Because once you start to look at the most popular and most common types of sounds, you can only have so many of each, which means, like, you know, if you're going to include drones and pads, for instance, you know, you can't have that much of both. And pulses and rhythmics or something like that. So it depends on exactly how we divvy it up, but the intention behind the pack is general use, but not so like blah unspecific that they're not fun. So I think we might even take a look at a couple of the most popular presets from the Shapeshifters pack and update them for Serum 2 and just kind of include them as little Easter eggs inside of this pack. I will say that this one, well, there's more than one in the works. One of them will not be an OhmLab official pack, and you guys can grab it when it becomes available, and I will let you know. But it will leave the mothership and dock somewhere else. Okay. Ooh. Heavy bag? Have to box your way to the food. That's so funny. Paul, that just gave me a funny like subscription food model idea. You call it heavy bag, and it's just like overindulgent, like, let's put on a couple together. Subscribe to us. Like we'll just send you a little bit too much food. People would probably love that. People would probably love heavy bag. Like the design of the bag could be like a brown paper bag with grease spots on it even. It'd be dope. Be like the best meatball sandwiches or whatever it is that you're like completely addicted to. Just bigger. Okay. Rave stabs, yeah, yeah. W&B. I would imagine that there will be some rave stabs. Like we need to figure out what the essentials of each thing are, right? There's going to have to be super saw, right? There's going to have to be some dubby stuff. There's going to have to be some wubs, and there's going to have to be also like some like ambient type stuff, and there's going to have to be some poppy stuff. And there's a lot of features in Serum too. Like there's just a lot of features. And I think that maybe one thing to focus on as we're building out this pack is to not dip into too many of the features for any one specific sound, so they can still be relevant and really flexible within their intended range. So, or use anyway. Okay. So if you guys have requests, just let me know, and we'll make it all happen. We've got sound. And show of hands, how many of you, when you are buying a big like hidden library or essentials or ultimate expansion pack or whatever it's being marketed as, are you hoping to get more out of the already included wavetables and samples, so you don't have like this huge download to manage and whatnot? Or are you one of those people that really hopes to get new wavetables and new samples and new LFOs and stuff like that? So you let me know, because in the past I've actually included a whole bunch of those extra files in packs, and it's always nice to know what the current demand actually is. Because it's really nice to make your own sounds. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe what we'll do is start with making a couple of our own wavetables out of some existing stuff, and then moving from there. Not sure exactly what I want to start with today, so this is a good place, I think, to begin. At the source of the sound, if you will. Okay, so I kind of like this one. I'm going to bring up the level just a little bit, and we are going to, let's say we're going to FM into that. I'm going to bring a sawtooth. Let's go into the basic shapes, and I'm just going to right click on wavetable position and move the smooth interpolation mode on, and get a little off kilter with the sawtooth here. I'm going to turn off A for a second. Okay, and I'm just going to put like a really, really subtle bend on this guy. And it does not need to re-trigger, but it does need to move slowly. So I'll just move it down a bit. And And I do not want it to move that much into a triangle, so I'm going to adjust that. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to bring that back down, and that's just going to be used to FM here. What a fart. It's kind of an interesting waveform right there. Might be a good one to start with. All right, so if we take an LFO and we bring it up here, and let's just make this an envelope. We'll put this over here. That's a pretty dope little slice of awesome. Now we're going to be slightly surprised what we end up getting from it. Because we've got a little bit of modulation happening on the waveform over here in B. Oh, gosh. Let's see here. Okay. Kind of like this one. I'm not going to give anything names yet. Just so I don't bog myself down in that. And I am going to, instead of making a whole bunch, I am just going to go ahead and initialize the thing, and we're going to put in that wavetable over here in a new patch. Ooh, Paul's getting ready for this weekend show. Nice. Electronica Fest 16, all day Saturday, and recording the board audio for it all. Nice, Paul. That should be awesome. What kind of stuff are you able to share with the world at large after that? Like, is all of that then like put up into a SoundCloud or a YouTube or something where people can check it out? Not quite as dynamic as we were hearing, but there's some of it in there still. Okay, so let's we're gonna bring just a basic sine wave over here, and let's bring that down, and we're going to again kind of FM this guy before we do our shaping here. Yeah, there's some cool spots in there. Gotta love some FM. Drummer Boy says, can't spell frequency modulate without fart, I guess. Well, you gotta check and see if your sounds have got a good fart in them before you continue, right? Sometimes, anyway. Oh, nice. Paul says, we now have a YouTube channel called Synth Stop. Just posted the videos from last year's show there. Most of these artists will be performing Saturday. Oh, nice, dude. And he's also upgrading or updating his Serum to V2. Very nice, Paul. Welcome. Welcome. How are things in VCV land, by the way? All right, so let's take this. And we'll give this a little shape. Cat hair and the mouse. All right, I am going to use first LFO just to roam our wavetable position a bit. And we'll make that free. And we're going to bring our second LFO over to the fine tuning of this guy and just bring it away. And we're just going to give it just a tiny little bit of drift. And that can also be free roaming. Okay, so that'll give us just a little bit of variation over time, which is nice. Paul saying VCV still rocking here. Made a video yesterday with CV controlled dancing stick figures. Oh, nice, dude. My kid is going as a like as a stick figure for Halloween, and it's great. So this outfit is completely black. And you know those glow sticks that you can wear is just like, you know, glow sticks. Like you wear them as a bracelet or whatever. It's like that, but it's just like circle for head shape and body down. So it's just like stick figure, right? Just one out each arm. Same for the legs. It's going to be great. It's going to look great in the pitch black. It's awesome. Okay. Let's give this just a little bit of sub. Okay, so we'll have a little sub layer that we can bring in via a macro if people want it. All right, I'm going to give them also an extra layer to play with over here. We'll just make our first patch kind of a general purpose, somewhat grungy, somewhat poppy kind of thing. And we will use basically just our library stuff to get started here. I have a feeling we're going to make custom stuff for most of these. I'm going to get into the smooth interpolation mode again here. There's so many frames in the sound. Wow, it's like very jittery, even with the smooth interpolation. That's wild. There we go. Okay, and then we can affect that one through a little bit of warping as well. Okay, so let's start bringing in just a couple of macros here before we start treating the sound. We're going to bring this in as an optional layer, and we'll use macro 5 for that. Okay, there we go. All right, a little bit of noise. Okay, filter. And let's get into one of our new guys here. Yeah. All right. This feels like an okay filter for this one. Drummer boy saying, by some good luck, there was a plumbing truck outside my house sucking something out of a hole, and I managed to record it at max suction and spinning down. Might stuff those in a drive folder and post it for folks in the Discord. That would be so cool. That would be so rad. That'd be great. Oh, I bet there's like a lot of weird sounds like that happening right now with all the leaves out and street sweepers and stuff getting stuck and all the muck, huh? This is turning into kind of a bright textured kind of guy, right? All right. We'll come back on the sub layer. We'll come back on that. Let's deal with maybe just a little bit of shaping on the first macro and then dip into some processing, and we'll come back to the synth side of stuff in just a sec. So I am just going to turn this up, and we are going to play with our sustain just a bit. And maybe our attack just a bit. And maybe just our decay for just a little touch here. Something like that. Okay, so shape. And we'll put a little wiggle in here too. Bring this volume down again. Cool. Okay. Let's get, like I said, let's dip into some processing, and then we'll come back to the synth side of things. And this will probably be... Let's see, let's bring the shape back down again here. Probably like a lead or something. All right. I'm just going to start making a little repository of sounds here. Let's call this essentials for right now. And this will be in our lead category for now. All right, let's do a couple of things over here. I don't want these getting too busy, so we're not going to do a lot of splitting or anything up front. We'll save that stuff for the end, but I do kind of want to tighten this one up just a little bit before we actually start processing it. Okay. Oh, distortion, or actually let's do, so hyperdimension first. Okay, and we're going to bring a, not sure where that's going to be. We're going to put that on 2 for right now. All right, we're going to need to bring the channel volume down on this as we bring the macro up, just to kind of maintain volume control. Okay, we'll come back and we'll make sure everything isn't redlining when we aren't thinking of other things. Next, we'll get a little bit of distortion, just a tiny little bit here. Let's get a sine shaper, maybe? Okay. We're gonna bring, let's jump back here really quick. I'm just gonna add the sub over here. Okay, and jumping back to our effects really quick. Save as we go here. All right, let's get a little bit of spatial stuff happening here. I want delay and verb as an option here, and I want to get some of that in before we start doing some of the other time-based stuff here. Okay, so there's one. And set up a second one. It's going to be very similar. And this will just give us a chance to kind of play with our stereo field a little bit and the listener's kind of interpretation. Okay, and we can have control of those two delays separate. Over here. So maybe what we'll do is we'll call one of them tethered to our reverb. We'll call that one space, and the other one will be delay and maybe just a little flange or something. Kind of couple them with something just to make it a little bit more unique. All right, so let's flesh out these macros really quick. We're going to bring our reverb up to around there, and we will bring our second delay, which is our ping pong delay, in with that. There will, however, be just a bit also included in this guy up here. Okay, so we're going to call this one space. And with the one right next to it, we're just going to bring up our mix on the normal delay. And we'll bring that up to kind of a 50-50 mix here. Okay, cool. Next, let's get this, give this guy like a little wiggle of some kind. And kind of build in a little kind of vibrato type of thing. Or maybe something even a little bit more kind of present, I guess. And also some shaping on oscillator C still. So let's do those two things. Let's go with the shaping first, and maybe just a really simple bend on this guy. Meta Beats. No, you know what? I have not checked out the Omnisphere 3 update yet. Honestly, I'm waiting to hear back from Spectrasonics at this point still. For our update. So, but I am really stoked for it, to be perfectly frank. Like it looks like a really, I was going to say a really good leap, like a really good step forward, but it feels like it's a little bit more comprehensive than just like, hey, we like moved in this new direction or we fixed a bunch of things. It seems more like there's always been this really deep understanding of where they kind of fit in currently. And this feels like they're finally at a place now where they have comprehensive coverage of what they're trying to provide everybody, right? Like you can use all these different controllers with it. The the community feedback about different patches over the years were all attended to in kind of deep dive updates to all of the pre-existing library stuff, and then the new recorded stuff in there just looks way cool. This really felt like a kind of a reckoning moment, almost like they leveled their own playing field in a way, and they started creating more separation from the pack. And they basically, I think what they're saying is hey, we can get you sounds that other people are not right now, and we can get them to you in an incredibly performative way. And I think that's going to translate more for sound designers than it has in the past. And I think that it's going to speak even more to composers out there than it already has previously. But I think ultimately the ability to communicate with the different tools and like the updated quality of audio and everything, I think it's super dope. I think it's really great. Like if you go back to V1 of Omnisphere when it was just like this, it wanted to be so much more than it was kind of rompler. Omnisphere 2, I felt was a huge leap from that. A huge leap. I felt like they brought stuff that was incredibly innovative for the tool type. And I also think that with all of their expansions and everything, they brought a level of sound quality that a lot of other tools were not bringing in those like several years. There was just like a bunch that were just, their recordings were super top shelf. I was just really impressed, really really impressed. But V3, I think, just kind of make sure that everything is kind of up at that higher quality that a lot of that expansion stuff was. Yeah. Anyway, those are my initial thoughts without actually touching the tool with you guys. Uh, Meta. Well, hopefully, yeah, they should. And in years past, they have. We've worked together in years past, so we'll see. Yeah, and Paul's hearing good things about its MPE support. Yeah, I think they spent a fair bit of time about the the quality of life improvements, and then like these different frustration points for people. And I think a lot of that just had to do with connectivity and like things working, properly with everything. So I think they're there now, and I think that makes everything feel uh, really good for the future of them. There's a couple of companies out there, ImageLine, the folks that make FL Studio, they've been doing like some things seem like classic FL development timeline stuff, and then other moves that they're making, like acquisitions that they've made and stuff, are just like, "Pff, what?" So they obviously have a roadmap that we are not completely privy to at this point. So I would say Spectrasonics and FL, like keep an eye on those two companies as kind of bigger dark horses in this whole what's happening in the future of sound and music making. Because I have a funny feeling about both those companies. They've been doing some big work behind the scenes. Meta saying it's been one of my go-to synths for years now. It's a very good hybrid between using sampled and synthesized sources. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Paul says it's amazing, but not for me. It's not a CVC thing, so or a VCV, a CVC. If it did something that VCV didn't do for you, right? Okay, the bend on this guy. Let's put that in. I think I'm going to put that over on number 3. It's not going to do enough for what I want. So I am actually going to go into the distortion. And we're going to give this, and this is a bit more aggressive, but we're going to give this a sine fold. I'm just finding my stop and end, or my start and end points for this. If you didn't know this, Serum makes this actually really easy for you in regards to how you can set your start stop points or your depth markers for your macros. If you zoom in at any one point in time with just a key pressed, even if it's like a pluck, you can see where your peak comes to rest. If I zoom in here, you'll see it left this mark right here. So my macro at the current level that it was at was reaching its peak right here. It just gives me an opportunity to bring this down while that mark is still present, because it's going to hover there for a few seconds before it disappears. And you can bring your macro up to max and see if you like that. Maybe. Okay, the other is our FM over here. So one that I have is that we may not have any FM until we bring it up with the macro, which let's see what that feels like. This is currently at 17. Okay. Ooh, there's some funkiness brewing in there. Right there. It's part of the FM is what it is. All right, so we're going to call this timbre. Paul, you have to have farts with your synths. Andy Music saying, tried to use the filters as a FM modulator. I don't know really now know how to get 6 sounds out of that, but it is very cool. Sorry, there is something on my roof. I think it's dueling squirrels in a gutter. It's quite an interesting sound. I think a couple of squirrels may have just been running around in a tree and fallen down into a gutter on my roof. I think that's the sound that I've just heard. Oh, that was really unique. Hey, STP! How you doing, homie? Okay, so we've got our filter, which we have not actually connected to anything yet. So we can do one of a couple of things. We can put that on the mod wheel, which might be good because that does save us a macro. I think one of them just fell out of the gutter. Okay. Okay, what was I saying? That would save us a macro. And I might do that. I have no idea what these squirrels are doing, but it's incredibly distracting. I want to put up a squirrel cam so you guys can participate in this with me. Okay, let's put the cutoff on Macro. These guys. Okay. Or cut off on mod wheel, I mean. Hmm. I think what we're going to do instead is we're going to take that off. And we're going to have our filter control. Let's move this down. We're going to turn 6 into 7. So I'm going to go over to my matrix here. I'm going to turn faux 6. I'm going to turn that into 7. And then I'm going to turn 5 into 6. Oh, there it is. 5 into 6. And now on 5, we are going to call this... Let's see here. This one was sub. And this one was layer. And our new one will be filter. But we're going to stop shy. And let's just play a little bit with what it looks like to push our mod wheel past. Can't actually tell with that much. Okay, so we're going to take that off then. All right. We're going to use the mod wheel for something else. I think it's going to be the tremolo kind of feel that we were talking about earlier, because we've got our filter covered with this guy. Bring that up a little bit more. Yeah. I'm having a squirrel moment for sure. Oh man, it reminds me of the original Angry Squirrel moment. Was it that brought the? Oh, it was Heidi that brought the Angry Squirrel recording originally. Oh man, that was hilarious. Andy Music saying, I know this might be a bit off topic for this stream, but I just found out there is a very cool audio workstation for CDP. Yeah, SoundThread, absolutely. We will cover SoundThread. For some reason, one of the nodes is not responding properly via terminal in this computer. So we'll see when we make the switch to this other computer for the next stream if it behaves. We won't play with CDP next or SoundThread's next stream, but maybe next week. This Wednesday, we already have a couple of things lined up. But that has been on the books for a little while because I think the SoundThread project is really super neat. Yeah, it's super, super awesome. It makes everything so much more accessible. Yeah. As far as I know, it's all work in progress, but it's being attended to as well. Yeah, for sure. All right, so I wanted to add just like a little kind of tremolo effect, right? Some sort of like vibrato kind of a thing. And we could do that in a number of different ways. One way we could do it would be to affect the volume level of any one of or all of our wavetables. We could also affect the tuning or the filter, like the cutoff position in the filter. But I think maybe what we'll do for this one is just a little bit of volume mod. I think that would probably be best. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so let's do that. That would look like this. We're going to take our mod wheel and we're going to push it all the way up, and we are going to add this. We'll see what an addition looks like first. I would prefer to do an addition because as a reduction bites into the overall sound, you gotta counter that a whole bunch of different ways. Oh, I just put it on the wrong thing. I'm going to take that guy off, and instead we are going to put this LFO over here, and we are going to put that up like this, and we're going to make this go like maybe 30-second notes. Okay, and now we're just going to go into our matrix. We're going to use the mod wheel as an aux source for that LFO assignment. So now what that means is that as we move our mod wheel up, we're actually going to span the distance of that modulation depth over here. So mod wheel down, straight note, mod wheel up, wiggly note, right? So we can do that to a couple over here, just to even that out a little bit. We don't want the entirety of the volume of anything being affected. Simple, easy, really, really simple and easy. Okay, so now that we've got this basic sound, I feel like we should probably make it a little less basic, a little less vanilla. So let's go back over to our rack here. And play with something. Let's add a splitter. And in the sides, not the mid, but the side, let's add do I want to go bowed, or do I want to go more with a comb filter kind of a thing? Let's play with the bowed first. I just want this to be on the side. I would like, instead, on the side, I would like a filter, and on the filter, we'll try it with this. If we don't like what we get, we'll just make our own comb filter, which is actually just a delay. So we're going to set this over. Okay, so we're going to do a couple of different things here. We're going to take our note modulator. This is actually just key tracking, and we're going to go. I think we're going to go bipolar on this guy. And we're going to figure out our range really quick. Oops. Oh, man, I hate this bug inside of Serum 2 right now. I hate this bug. I just had the spot saved. I was being so careful to not touch stuff. It kind of jumps, and it's kind of just frustrating. Okay, so this is our note follow. And let's just ring that in. Oof, oof. Ooh, now that's so wild right there. Okay, I'm going to bring that down here. Okay, now bear with me. I'm going to play with this mod wheel just a little bit here. Bring this up. Ah, what is going on with this jumping? These knobs are jumping on me. No, not that one. So let's put this on the timbre then instead. That's the one. Okay, so what did we screw up over here? Number three. Oh, it's this guy. Oh, that's so weird. I think that would sound really nice, actually, with a variety of different things there. Okay. Okay, so we can't have the timbre macro control the FM because when it's coinciding with the signfold distortion, something weird is happening. So which one is more important? Let's see. Let's turn off this guy for just a minute. Now let's put this back over here. Okay, well, I don't need to derail this sound entirely with this. We'll come back to that. Yeah, it gets into some weird territory when I have the FM on that same control. Okay, and the comb filter does feel just a little bit weird in there. It would definitely make it a little too specific, I think. So maybe what we'll do instead is a flange. Something a little bit more transparent and subtle. Something that won't interfere with the kind of crunchiness of that analog sound. Okay, so let's put a pin in this one, and we'll come back to it. I think that the other question that I have with it is exactly how is it delivered, right? Will there be an ARP, or is it just going to be a plucky, stabby thing? I think it's going to be a plucky, stabby thing. Oh, it's this guy. Oh, hold on a second. It's this guy. He's running over to a point that he shouldn't. That's what's causing that sound. Okay. Yeah, all better. All right. We've got those things nailed down. Let's take out that filter that we're not going to use, and let's also just right in between there, we're going to put a compressor. Let's move our splitter up in the chain. Oh, I can't. That's right, but I can move my compressor. Okay. We're going to put that... Let's put it before our time-based effects so we're not getting all weird there. STP saying you can route each oscillator to their own buses internally in Serum too for more control. Yeah, you absolutely can. Yeah. I'm going to take and hit pause on this one, and we'll come back and we'll do all the routing and the finishing touches and do all the volume leveling across these effects and everything. We'll give it a name. We'll do all that stuff in a second pass on this. So we'll go ahead and we'll save this. Boom. All right, next up, let's do something fun. Way more fun than that, because that's kind of boring after a bit. So how about we do something granular and maybe like kind of, maybe we'll make something, ooh, let's load a loop into the granular oscillator and see where we go from there. And before I go further, I am going to come over here. I'm going to play some music for you, and I'll be right back. I'm going to go hit the bathroom. Be right back. we are back. Andy Music saying, man, there's been so much development in the sound design sphere as of the past few years, and I haven't been nerding out on it because I was focusing on getting good at chords and melodies, and it's such a treat to get back into all this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it is, it's never ending, right? Never ending. All right, we just saved this, so we can go ahead and initialize. And yeah, let's get into something strange and weird, right? Shall we? Let's do some granular. And we can do so much with the stuff that's already in the library without adding our own stuff. So I feel like maybe what we'll do is, because I would like to have several different types of granular patches in this new, in both the new packs. And I have some cool ideas for some of them that are kind of based off of bigger ideas, some of which are kind of beat oriented. So I feel like those will probably be complex enough. I feel like maybe we kick off our little granular tour with some kind of loop that everyone has access to here. Atari gain. Have I listened to this one yet? All right, let's hit. I guess I could just take this down a bit here. Yeah, STP. Yeah, the granular will make your CPU go brrr. It absolutely will. All right, first off, we're going to change this from a one shot to some sort of a loop to make this a little bit more interesting. I don't think we really need all of this. I think we can probably find a couple of spots for our looping. Yeah, it's chunky. Yeah, I think, yeah, Andy says, I think it has the potential to make your PC a nuke if the sample is big enough. Yeah, seriously. Seriously. Okay, I'm going to start messing with a couple of things here, and then we're going to start adding the randomization into this, which will be lots of fun. Okay, so what I would like is to have a nice little back and forth on the length here. So you get this kind of little push-pull kind of effect, and let's make this retrigger, and we're going to make this maybe a Maybe it's like a 2-bar kind of a effect, and that will hopefully start to create this kind of polyrhythmic relationship over here with the loop playback itself before we even start adding any kind of processing of any kind beyond the oscillator here. Yeah, that is already starting to do its thing. Okay, so the first thing that I normally start to randomize more than the other stuff is the pan, because that's going to get you quite a bit more stereo field play instead of just putting everything exactly where it once was. You can start to kind of randomize, push against expectations a bit. Same with the volume. And that's going to make it start feeling a little bit more organic and maybe even original. And then we can start playing with the voicing here. Yeah, that's pretty weird with that detune in there. Yeah, this is great. Okay, now what we're going to do is get out of here, and we're going to now just start to manipulate the directionality of this thing and the scope of the granular processing and the size, and then we'll move on from this oscillator and we'll start doing some processing. Lovely. Okay. Andy's saying, man, my brain just went to that's a very cool Reese noise layer. Yeah. Okay, let's get this running through a couple of time-based effects to start to create kind of this atmosphere effect from it. Almost sounds like a distant church bell or something at that level. Yeah, it's always fun to make atmospheres this way. All right, we're going to move back over to our filter here. And let's get into one of these newer filters. Might be kind of fun to play with the diffuser on this one, actually, you know, in the rack. Ooh, yeah. Does sound like a Dark Souls kind of atmosphere, huh? So I think what I'd like to do with this one, because we'll need a handful of different kinds of atmospheres for this pack, we can make this one fairly transformative. We can make this like really bright and airy and magical up high, and down low we can make it more kind of sinister and stirring and even like kind of fiery and gritty if we really want it to be that way. So I think we're going to start working in that direction, just making this kind of a hybrid, pretty flexible atmosphere, and we'll put a filter sweep at the beginning of this thing so it feels like it is applicable to both music and screen, like speaker and screen, and we'll give it a couple of different delivery wiggles, some gated effects, if you will, so then people can play with the filter position, the rate of filter disclosure, the opening and closing, the depth of the different types of gating, and kind of make it a kind of a atmosphere and also like a transition generator as well. Okay, cool. Good to talk through that. We're going to call this atmosphere, I guess, for right now, or effects. And we'll call this 001. Yeah, Andy Music. I like to use the full range of octaves in most of my patches. So, you know, if you're playing with some of my stuff, regardless of what year it was made or what tool it was in, if you're playing with some of my stuff in a certain range, go down like 4 octaves or something and see what's down there, or a couple more octaves up and see what's up there. Twist some knobs. Okay, so let's put in the sweep, the filter sweep. And I think what we'll do is we'll put that on... We can actually put that on the first macro here, and we can just call this shape, and we'll create some consistency across all of these patches, where a lot of the macros will share the same name and kind of intended function. And so a little bit. give it a little bit longer. That feels a little bit nicer. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll call this shape. And now let's get the filter opening up a bit. And I think we can make that kind of a static setting. I think that's something we can do here. All right, now let's put filter control on this guy. So we have kind of a stop and end point for it. Ooh, it's got this cool kind of retro, like cinema kind of, almost like sci-fi kind of feel to it almost. Okay, let's see what we can do to this whole thing. I'd like to play with some distortion both before and after our time-based effects. Just adding a diode effect to bring kind of this digital quality to it. All right, let's give ourselves a little bit of control over our effects down here. Kind of contemplating having layers actually be stacked delays on this one, which is always a fun thing to play with. You just basically create multiple delays and then bandwidth restrict which ones are doing what, and then allow those things to kind of commingle in a greater soundscape together. It's kind of a fun thing to play with. Okay, we still have our delay wrapped up in this thing. For now, let's go the less complicated route, and we're going to just include the delay in our main effects macro here. All right, so back to our distortion thing. Let's add another one. This one can actually be after, and let's just see what happens when we start to give this thing a little warm up. Quite lovely, actually. Warming it up with a little bit of saturation there. All right, now let's get into, we still have a couple more oscillators. You got some noise. What I'd like to do is just kind of play with movement and gating and texture in this guy. And then keeping the oscillators separate from one another, or at least creating some sort of separation between the channels in the greater soundscape so it becomes a little bit more immersive. So let's start that by bringing in a noise layer. And for right now, let's just bring in something random from the S2 noises category. Okay, so we can play with a couple of different things here. We can move our pitch down and up with our note follow. Start to bring in some interesting textures to that. And then we can have separate effects control for this texture layer, which can be kind of cool, I'm sure. Zeep! How you doing, homie? Okay, so we'll bring in maybe a texture with this guy. Now, with that texture, what we can do is we can bring in a little bit of effect with that. We can go into our effects rack, and in bus 1, we can load up a delay, for instance. And then within here, we can create something kind of cool. Let's go a ping pong on this guy, and we'll just focus on these higher frequencies over here. And we'll go to our mix, and we will dial up a little bit of that bus effect here. Oh, this is going main. Hold on just a second. I want to go. Huh, actually, do I want to go directly to. That's a good question. I think here. Yeah. Okay, enough of that. Let's move into our movement, like I was saying. So the first one we could do is maybe just a general filter manipulation. And we could maybe do that between our distortion and reverb down here. And we can keep this really gentle at first. And let's add a... Well, it's going to go just down here. And we're going to make this maybe 16th notes. Something like that. And let's make this square. Okay, so for this, we're going to make this an aux control through one of our macros. And we'll call that macro 6 for right now. I'm just going to go into our matrix and come over here and say Macro 6. Okay, let's go back over to the FX rack and we will dial in the depth and mix of this. All right, so we'll leave a little bit of the back in the original sound in there as a bed. It's like 10% or so. So we'll call this a gate. Zeep, yeah, doing all right. Doing all right. It's a Monday, you know, getting back into it for the week. It's always fun to start a whole new pack. Okay, so then the next thing that we can do is we can affect the rate of that gate. Question is how we want that to actually happen. Maybe it's the mod wheel that we're going to use to change the rate. So let's just play with that for just a second. We've got gating on. It's got the click there, of course. Let's fix that. Yo, Trip Hop, welcome in. Happy Monday. Let's see here. Mod wheel for gate tempo. Just make a note of that so I don't forget. Hey, Organic Mood. How you doing, homie? Happy Monday. Welcome in. Welcome back. Thank you for the biddies. Appreciate you, homie. Okay, so this one's starting to get a little fun. We can go back into our bus where we are routing our noise oscillator directly to, and there. I was thinking it might be kind of fun just to play with the delayed signal just a little bit. Shall we? Can I check your music video and track? Yeah, here in just a little bit. It's a pretty wild effect. Yeah, that's a pretty wild effect right there. Oh, nice. Something new, huh? Brand new. Lovely. And you've already sent it out. All right, so let's bring in, we've got to have an option for a layer that can kind of make us go, right? So let's do that really quick. Let's bring in probably just a wavetable on this one, and we'll go to, let's go into digital, and let's go hardware waveforms. How about that? There's some weird stuff in here. I'm going to go into smooth interpolation mode. There's just a huge amount of weird textures in here. It would be kind of interesting maybe to take something like, let me think through this here for a second. If I go here and let's just generate a random flat step thing here. And we run through our wavetable position with that. And let's bring our effects stuff down for a second. All right, so if we take this guy and we don't run it through, where would we run this? We would run this direct. So we can bring a layer up. We can bring these other things down here. Let me think here. Let's put filter on, let's put filter on 4, because that's easier for a lot of people to grab. So I'm just going to change that really quick. Change macro 5 to macro 4, and then, and that was filter, right? 5 to 4, that's filter. And we'll just call this one layer. Okay, so that's kind of a cool thing. I just need to figure out what I want to do with that signal, but I do like the kind of digital stepping that it's doing. All right, let's save this for a sec. Yeah, texture is nice, right? Yeah, yeah. You know, in the new packs, there'll be a whole bunch of each of the main different types of sound, or sound types, I should say. Get my words flipped up there. So we'll make a few different types of atmospheres, right? Like some that are gated, some that are just like celestial, some that are like dark and sinister, or some dark ambient type stuff. And we'll do a couple of these where you have like this kind of musicality kind of creeping around inside of it, which is good for like, you know, techno and that type of stuff oftentimes. Okay, let's listen really quick. What's your new name? Trip hop user. That's what it is. I almost called you organic. Did you already put it in the Discord? You did. Okay. Let's check this, and it's video, so I am going to put my notepad on the other screen. And I'll make notes over there. So we can all enjoy this together. All right, I'm going to turn off this background noise. And let's see what Organic Mood made. Slow motion. Yeah, this is just a vibe check because it's already mastered and ready to release. Okay. Gotcha.
Catalyst, to say what has never been said, to see what has never been seen, to draw, paint, sing, sculpt, dance, and act what has never before been done, to push the envelope of creativity and language. And what's really important is, I call it the felt presence of direct experience, which is a fancy term which just simply means we have to stop consuming our culture. We have to create culture. Don't watch TV, don't read magazines, don't even listen to NPR. Create your own road show, the nexus of space and time where you are now is the most immediate sector of your universe. And if you're worrying about Michael Jackson or Bill Clinton or somebody else, then you are disempowered. Icons, which are maintained by unapplied media, so that you want to dress like X or have lips like Y or something. This is shit brain, this kind of thinking. That is all cultural aversion. And what is real is you and your friends and your associations, your highs, your orgasms, your hopes, your plans, your fears, and we're told, no, we're unimportant, we're peripheral. Get a degree, get a job, get a this, get a that, and then you're a player. You don't even want to play in that game. You want to reclaim your mind and get it out of the hands of the cultural engineers who want to turn you into a half-baked moron, consuming all this trash that's being manufactured out of the bones of a dying world. Where is that at?
All right, let me get this over to the other screen here for you. Wow, YouTube, you have a very interesting mix of things to recommend after that. Um, okay, here's what I got for you. This one was wild. So I feel like the vibe, like right out the gate, the vibe is pretty solid. It gets pretty weird. It gets into like some interesting, like, uh, uh, kind of border smashing, genre smashing, hybridization. It's really interesting. Would love to hear a lower register element that kind of swells and peaks around emotional intention in the first half of this. Um, it's like a Leonard Cohen meets, wait, adjusters, adbusters is what I was thinking. Um, so the smooth bass does fill out the low end um, nicely when it arrives, but I do think that's something that kind of churns on our like churns and stirs up our emotions just a little bit, making us wonder, feeling a little bit tense in that first half might feel kind of cool. It would make good use of that space. It certainly wouldn't uh, lessen the impact of that bass coming in when it arrives. Just as like a side note, like AI is making some really weird things, wild things possible. This video was nuts, and I'm assuming that like it's just it only gets weirder from here, right? Like video wise, but that is a pretty uh, that is a pretty kind of exciting thing to look forward to in general when things start to simmer down around the whole AI conversation a bit. Is the visuals that go along with people's music? Um, yeah, yeah, because so much music is so fantastical and otherworldly and goes to places that are like beyond imagination. So it'll be interesting. It'll be so cool to see artists actually putting uh, visuals to things without other folks filtering it in any way or influencing it in any way. It's going to be so interesting. Okay, so that said, I would love to hear some filters on the various tracks to create more separation between the elements, so you could have more control. Like there's a few different points where when um, the the full mix is happening and there's some highs in there. I think in the perk track and something else that would have been nice to tame a little bit, so the vocal track wasn't competing with anything, little tiny things like that. Um, but yeah, this is wild. This was so wild. Uh, Anti-material girl saying, "I talked a little shit, but this is good." Um, none of it was produced. If none of it was produced with AI, I think that probably it was. I think that the video was too weird for it not to have AI involvement. I would think. Um, Yeah, this had the feeling of like a mashup remix too. Like there was several different kind of ideas uh, being brought together in this one. Yeah, I'm still processing it all. I'm still processing it all. The like the timbre of the voice, for instance, and the style of the music. Yeah, just so interesting. So interesting. Um, like in a way it kind of reminds me a little bit of some 90s stuff in the way like if you go back and look at like old Bill Laswell crew type stuff, right, where maybe William S. Burroughs comes in and he starts laying down a little spoken word thing um, over some nice smooth bass like this. um, yeah, yeah, this one's pulling on some strings for sure. It's very interesting, very interesting. Lyrics of Terence McKenna. Ah, Terence McKenna. That's what it was. We were over here, right? Yeah, I think we leave the texture off. Like its starting position is texture off. So when people discover they're like, wait, what? Or layer, I mean. Or maybe both are. Maybe texture's halfway down and layers all the way down. Now, if we can, maybe we could gate the, let me think about this. The gating of the atmosphere rate changes with the mod wheel knob. You know what it is? You know what it is I think that this guy basically gets sent to its own channel, and then on that channel we're gonna have like some sample and hold on there. I think maybe that's where we're heading with this one. So we're gonna go over here, and we're gonna say let's put a filter in here so we can find some sample and hold stuff. It would be so nice to be able to just touch on this filter and, oh, there it is. It's a double click. Okay, bear with me as I try to figure out what I want to do with this layer here. And turn back on our original sound. Yeah, material was Bill Laswell, absolutely. Man, there were so many great projects that wouldn't have existed without Bill Laswell. Yeah, just brilliant, just brilliant. Yeah, the Seven Souls. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's so much though that happened around that time. Like, the Kurt Cobain, William S. Burroughs project wouldn't have happened without Bill Laswell, right? Yeah, just so much. Oh man, the collaboration of the '90s was the best. It was just the best. It really was. Yeah, this is some weird, wild stuff over here, right? This is like some cyber weirdness over here. Yeah, this one's just. What did I just make? We moved away from the atmosphere, and we've gotten into some weirdness here. Drummer Boy saying, dump those plumbing truck files in found sounds. Ooh, hold on a second. So Drummer Boy was saying earlier in the stream that there was a truck out in front of his place, and they were like fixing some sort of a stuck thing, and it resulted in some cool sounds, and he was able to grab them. So big old plumbing truck outside, recorded on my Zoom H1. Nice. Nice. Let's go there. Let's go check that out really quick, shall we? Kwame! The sound of it winding down is pretty great. Let's see if there's anything else waiting for us here. Maybe there is, and it's not loading. Maybe that's it. Okay, yeah, I think I might use that sound of it powering down. It's a nice sound there. Kwame is here, dude. Kwame is saying, dude, I just won a meet and greet session with Genevieve tonight before concert. I loaded up an MP3 player with 5 of my songs to give her. Is that cheesy? I'm saying no, that is not cheesy. As long as you don't give it, like, present it in a way that is cheesy, it's not. I think it's a pro move. You've got really great stuff. So as soon as they begin listening, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I would show this to my producer, maybe get like a little finder's fee or something, you know? Or maybe like, hey, we could collab, right? Yeah? Huh? Public lounge for the new logo. Oh, hey, wait, hold on a second. New logo. Hold on a second. I need to be here for this. Whoa. Look at that. Dude. Okay. So you're going with Ish. This is awesome. Look at this. I love the little texture hashes. Yeah. Time to reveal yourself. That's great, man. This makes me feel good. Yeah. You were going to ask, what do you look for when collaborating with artists? Yeah. Yeah. That would be cool. That would be cool. What label is Genevieve on? This one's just nuts. I'm going to save this and move away from it for a while, I think. Joy face, Interscope. Okay. Okay. Okay, so while I've been kind of tinkering around with sounds today, I've been kind of plotting and planning uh, behind the scenes in my brain. There's always something running on the rabbit wheel or the hamster wheel in here. I would like to do some vocal chops, right? So I think that there's going to be maybe a little bit more on like the effects side of things, maybe in this pack. I'm not sure. When you guys load up Serum, when you guys load up Serum, honestly now, what are the actual categories that you actually end up clicking on the most? Because I don't think there's a need to fill up all of the categories by any means. But I do want to go a bit beyond just the typical, keys, chord, bass, lead. I would like to have a nice smattering for sound design folks as well, and traditional sound design, right? So like sound for screen versus sound for speaker. Um, so yeah, I think I'd like to have several different vocal patches in there. Um, yeah, thinking like maybe a good 20 effects in total, right? Which would include some hits, it would include some textures, it would include some rises, um, maybe a couple of downshifters, um, and then a couple of swells of some sort, probably as well. Okay, and then moving on over into the kind of playable lead category, we've got our plucks, our leads, our keys, um, and then we've got our pads and our stabs. So we're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're gonna have a good 12 categories, right? 100 sounds. We got to bring. If we do 20 effects total across those categories, that means there's 80 spread across the remainder, which isn't many. It's not many. That would give us, if we were to whittle that down to 8, that would give us 10 in each of those categories. That feels like maybe that's the right number right there. Okay, so I'm going to make a quick note of that. Sometimes I actually just have to say all the stuff out loud for it to all actually penetrate. Yeah, okay. Zeep saying, I use sequences a lot. Yeah, so I've been thinking about that. About, we have clip and we have ARP in here. And I think, by and large, everything that was put into motion previously was all being done through LFOs, which does not need to be the case anymore. Although there are some things that feel right to continue doing in the LFO. So I think that we're going to have a smattering of each. It's going to be fun to play with that art. It really is. I'm not sure about the clip. I'm thinking that the clip might be more for like varied bass lines or something like that, right? Like, wouldn't it be cool if you had like maybe an acid bass, or maybe it's a psi bass and it's like this roll, like there's a few different rolling bass line patterns or something in there. Um, that might be dope. So yeah, we'll have to figure that out. But I hear you about the movement. I think sequences is um, I need to give those a little bit greater priority, because I also want to do some rhythmic stuff around the looping that we can do in here now too, which means toppers. I really need to rethink my preset spread in this. I don't think I can do as many lead type sounds. Okay, so instead of having, I need to think through this. I need to get through this. Okay, so there's plucks, stabs, leads, keys. chords, synths. Oh boy. I think what I'll do is I'm going to kind of simplify all that and say that we'll just have a handful of types. We'll have like maybe just 10 types in total. Yeah, we're just gonna have to give these their own types. Like that's really what it comes down to. It's nice that we can have our own folder hierarchy, but I don't see us being able to kind of adhere to. I think we need both the sound design and the music production lingo in this pack here. Okay, this is good to think through. This is good to think through. I also want to take advantage of the sampler in here, and I want to know just from general use from you guys, like how often you guys are bumping up against like CPU issues when you're using just the basic sampler feature in Serum 2. And the multi-sample feature, because I think that like that's one more thing that we should have in there. Gosh, yeah, you know, making a pack of only 100 sounds as like an essentials collection for Serum 2 basically forces you to have a second volume, because you can't possibly have enough like decent representation for the various features and capabilities, and actually have it be like relevant and inspiring to the masses. You need more. You need more. It's almost as if you need to not touch certain features in each volume. Man, that's going to be kind of tricky. Okay, that's a good one though. I like that kind of challenge. Hey, Big Blue Snake, welcome in. Happy Monday. Okay, I think we just saved this thing. Shall we do a really quick sprint? Initialize this and do something interesting. Let's do a little bass sound maybe. All right, let's put a little tighter control on this guy. Rugrats meets Martin. Oh, Kwame, I just saw that line. That's great. Yeah. Sven, how you doing, homie? Let's give this guy... Oh, let's move away from the default shapes. Let's move into... Saw square. Let's do saw square. So between these two, if we switch to smooth interpolation mode, we can actually get to a whole bunch of different really great positions. We'll just crank up our resonance here and our drive and our just a little bit, and we can then add maybe we'll just go with the same envelope on the cutoff here, and we'll make that unipolar. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I am not hearing any effect from those because I'm on the bus. Hold on a second. Let's try that again. Come on, give me the thing that I'm clicking on. There we go. All right, let's give a little control to shape and then timbre, and then we'll just kind of move steadily out from there. So I'm just going to take our first macro. We're going to start playing with the shape just a little bit. Okay, cool. So shape just kind of makes it feel like it's almost going in reverse there. And then let's play with timbre just a little bit. We're going to go straight to our wavetable position. And we're not going to run the full gambit. Let's go. Okay, maybe just to there. Okay, next. Get an EQ in here. All right, let's make this thing, let's make this thing a little bit different than what we normally could get out of a flanger on a bass. Let's do like a little effect gating. We'll have let's say and maybe we do just a little bit quicker. I may move that out to just the side or something. Oh wait, hold on a second. That is not right. Flange, that's supposed to be, hold on a second. Let me reset that. We're going to do that just a little bit differently. I'm going to remove that, and we're going to take, this is still affecting this guy. We're just going to use an aux send to control that instead. So I will say macro 6. Now it's a flange control. Okay, it's weird. Next, let's bring in another filter. And for this guy, I think if we just go in and play a little sample and hold. Little sample and hold action here. Okay, let's go from there. To here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we got a little sample and hold. We got a little flange. Ooh, that, hold on a second, that sample and hold and flange is really interesting together. Let's play around with the order of operations here. Hmm. Oh yeah, that's really weird on the sides there with the saw. Interesting. Next. All right, next, let's just go ahead and get something to make this a bit more growly. Let's go into basic MG. All right, let's put a slow moving LFO on this guy. All right, we're going to bring down the volume of this guy, and we're going to use it to FM this guy just a bit. Oh, we need to get into smooth interpolation and try that again. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so yeah, okay. Get rid of a lot of that randomization there. Kind of forces the waveform to start in a specific spot. Makes it a bit more stable. All right, we're going to give this some drive control here. And we're going to do some compression here in the rack. Try to even the sound out just a little bit. Fat fingers. Crunch. Crunch. Which one did I just put on over here? The distortion? Okay, let's fix that. Bring down our volume a bit. Okay, so as that comes up, we can make that a bit more dynamic. Cool, okay. Okay, so this, if we get back to here, our first modulation here. All right, let's save this guy. Stop and save this. This is going to be a bass. We'll give it a name later, of course. Oh, hey, it is 1:32, y'all. That means that it is time for me to hit pause on this, save this project, or at least my spot in this project, and come over here and kick the box and see who is streaming on Twitch right now. See who we can go visit, because I need to move on to the next thing. Don't forget, if you are currently subscribed to the Twitch stream, you get a free sound pack each month, and I'm about to swap out the free sound pack that is up on the Discord right now. So before you depart today, if you currently have a sub, click into subscriber rewards and grab the free sound pack that's there. It's really awesome stuff. It's called Modular Clouds. It's a really good collection of things. All right. Let's see. Who's doing their thing? Oh, hey now. What is Brightside doing over there? It almost looks like Brightside might be playing with some sound thread. I'm gonna click over there today. We'll be back in a couple of days' time, you guys. On Wednesday, we'll be taking a look at a really super neat new tool that's been under embargo until Wednesday. So we will look at it Wednesday together, and there will also be some time spent with the Pocket Scion, which is the small version of the popular biofeedback rack module. So we will connect that thing to some plants live on the stream, and we'll make music from plants, and flowers and leaves and stuff. It should be fun. And some other stuff. So tune in Wednesday, and we'll get all wild and funky together. All right, let's go see what Brightside's up to. I'll see you guys on the flip. Y'all are appreciated. Peace out.